This is part 2 to my 2026 MLB mock draft, picks 21 through 40. Let's get into it. The San Diego Padres have the 21st pick in the 2026 MLB draft, and they absolutely love athletic high school draft prospects. So who better to select than 6'9" left-handed pitcher Brody Bumila? Now, I should note that I have only recently seen that Bumila has a UCL injury, which will probably lower his draft stock. But for the purpose of not redoing the entire back end of the first round, we're going to say the Padres are willing to take a chance on him. The Pods have drafted a high school lefty pitcher in the first round of the past 2 seasons, and the main thing these 3 guys all have in common is their height. San Diego seems to really like the projectability of a tall lefty pitcher, because if you throw hard as a lefty, you're going to have a job in the major leagues. It just is what it is. Speaking of throwing hard, Brody's 70 grade fastball can reach triple digits, which is very dominant at the high school level. He also features a high 80s slider and low 80s changeup that scouts say are pretty decent. This is a high projectable, high ceiling high school pitcher, which is what the Padres love drafting and then trading away. Good luck wherever you're going to be in the next year, Brody. The Detroit Tigers have the 22nd pick of the draft, and they have a severe lack of pitching left in their system. They have really liked selecting high school hitters in the first round the past few years, so why not select the best high school pitcher left on the board? Carson Boleman is a left-handed pitcher who has a pretty well-rounded arsenal. A 55 grade fastball, 60 grade curveball and slider, and a 55 grade changeup with 60 control. Carson can dial it up to 96 on the fastball, and his 2 breakers are both considered plus pitches. He is another high schooler who throws a kick changeup, which he does well to kill spin on. With the amount of young talent the Tigers have coming up in the system, I say keep the good times rolling and bring in another guy who will rise the ranks in the next 3 years and join the likes of Max Clark, Kevin McGonigal, and Bryce Rayner. The Cubbies are at number 23, and they have been really trying to go for it in recent times. One thing they are struggling with in the organization as a whole is the lack of reliable arms in their system. So, I'm giving them left-handed college pitcher Cole Carlon. The Arizona State starter can dial his fastball up to 98 while it sits 94, but his best pitch is his short, high 80s slider, which misses a ton of bats. He also features an average 12-6 curveball and a changeup with some fade. Carlon had a 3.87 ERA in 83 innings pitched with 133 strikeouts for Arizona State. I think the Cubs can do wonders with Carlon. The Mariners have the 24th selection in the draft, and their farm system is really well-rounded. The past 2 drafts, the Mariners have really liked picking up college pitchers. So why not select Tegan? I don't want to butcher this name, so I'm just going to say K. Tegan K is a right-handed pitcher for Tennessee who has 2 plus pitches. His fastball sits in the mid-90s and touches 98 with carry, while his upper 70s curveball has some nice break and plays off the fastball well. He has really struggled to find any other pitches that really stick in his arsenal, which hasn't seemed to be much of an issue so far, as he had a 3.56 ERA in 81 innings with 106 strikeouts for Tennessee in 2026. Tegan isn't the most exciting player in the draft, in my opinion. However, the Mariners do a great job at developing pitching, and Tegan has a great set of base skills that they can work with. The Milwaukee Brewers get lucky in this draft with A.J. Gracia falling to them at number 25, and this pick fits into their love for college bats perfectly. Gracia is a lefty-lefty outfielder who hit .354 with 14 home runs and a 1.121 OPS for Virginia, walking much more than he struck out. Now, if that's not a Brewers type of player, I don't know who else is. He is more likely to be a corner outfielder in the future due to him not being the fastest player on the field, but the bat is what you're betting on when you pick Gracia in the first round, and damn, that bat looks really good. The Brewers will be getting a very good player. The first pick of the prospect promotion incentive picks, the Braves get their second selection of the draft at number 26 for Drake Baldwin winning Rookie of the Year. The Braves have taken a lot of pitchers in the first round, but I really don't think they should overthink this pick because Sawyer Strosnider is right there for the taking. The lefty-lefty college outfielder has some major power speed potential in his future, with both of those tools being graded as a 60. He is also believed to be a possible mainstay at center field, although his arm in right is also very valuable. The main concern with Strosnider is the hit tool. He only batted .273 in 50 games for TCU. He did have a 1.005 OPS, and he had the same amount of walks as he did strikeouts, but it's the 13 home runs and .590 slugging percentage that you're looking forward to with Sawyer. Big pop and big speed with 12 stolen bases in 2026, Strosnider could definitely be a quick riser. The Mets received a 10-pick penalty for exceeding the second surcharge of the competitive balance tax, so their first pick comes at number 27. And I think they would love to take a chance on Georgia catcher Daniel Jackson. The Mets are lacking some catching depth in their system, and Daniel Jackson isn't just some catcher. Jackson is a good runner for a catcher and solid athlete who projects as an average defender behind the plate. What you're buying into with Jackson is the bat. 50 grade hit and 60 grade power, Jackson hit .379 with 32 home runs and a 1.276 OPS at Georgia University. I mean, 87 RBIs in 67 games is just nuts. The kid can hit the ball out of any part of the field and has made big strides in being more selective and hitting all types of pitches. I think this is a great pickup for the Mets at number 27. The Houston Astros got the 28th pick in the draft after Hunter Brown finished top 3 in Cy Young voting last year. So what better way to improve their pitching depth than picking a pitcher as a reward for one of their pitchers being really good? Logan Redeman is a right-handed pitcher for UCLA. He posted a 2.87 ERA in 60 innings with 84 strikeouts in 10 starts for the squad. Redeman can dial his fastball up to 99 while it sits in the mid-90s, getting plenty of swings and misses. Redeman has a newer, low 90s cutter that he uses as his second offering. His changeup has a chance to become a plus pitch, while his sweeper and curveball need some work. Redeman has some real upside that could help improve the pitching depth in Houston's system substantially. The San Francisco Giants traded Patrick Bailey for the 29th pick in the draft from the Guardians. When drafting hitters, oftentimes the Giants prefer to go for college draftees, and Aiden Robbins is an all-around outfielder with a big bat, which is something the Giants love. Robbins hit .333 with 24 bombs and a 1.122 OPS. He does have some swing and miss concerns, but has really leaned into more pop this year compared to years in the past. He isn't the fastest runner, but still swipes some bags and could stick as a solid defender in any outfield spot. The Giants like hitters, so go get a hitter. The Kansas City Royals have the 30th pick in the draft, and they will be thrilled to see that Bo Lawrence has fallen all the way down to 30. Lawrence is a high school third baseman with a 6'5" frame who makes contact to all fields and gets early comps to Freddie Freeman. He doesn't try to do too much at the plate, and therefore doesn't try to pull the ball in the air a lot. That means he has some potential untapped power that the Royals would love to help him get a handle on. The Royals really like their young high school infielders, and they will love Bo Lawrence. The Diamondbacks have the 31st pick, and they already got their one pitcher, so they're ready to go back to the tried and true of picking an athletic outfielder. So they will be selecting Zion Rose, a college outfielder with good speed and sneaky pop. In college, Rose has been more of a contact hitter despite his high exit velos, preferring to go gap to gap with his power instead of trying to pull fly balls in the air. His .417 average and near 500 on base percentage is very impressive, while he sported a 1.137 OPS and 6 home runs. He also swiped 24 bags in 2026 while only striking out 15 times compared to his 19 walks. Zion Rose is a very high floor guy who could have some really sneaky power in the future. He will need to stop chasing pitches out of the zone and probably clean up some poor defense in left, but otherwise the potential is very much there. The Cardinals have the 32nd draft selection and would love high school infielder Landon Tomei. The Cards don't really have much infield depth at this point in time, and grabbing Tomei, who is more likely to play third or second coming up in the minors, would help a ton. He's an average runner and has great bat-to-ball skills with plus power and a good feel for the zone. Tomei lifts a lot of balls in the air to the pull side and could most likely tap into more power as he fills out his frame. This would be a great pickup for the Cardinals. The Rays acquired this pick from the Orioles in the Shane Baz trade. And as I said with Jacob Lombard earlier in the draft, the Rays absolutely love high school athletes. So I think it's only right to give them James Clark at number 33. Clark is a plus runner with a 60 grade, has a good approach at the plate with great plate discipline, although lacking some pop despite good exit velocities. There are questions if he can stick at shortstop long term, but that won't matter because the Rays will find a way for him to become a plus defender at 3 different positions. James Clark will thrive with the Rays development team, no doubt. The Pirates have the 34th pick, and they really just need a hitter here. And who better than college outfielder Caden Sorrell? The lefty-lefty hit .341 with 23 home runs and a 1.177 OPS, swiping 11 bags in 2026 for Texas A&M. The junior tries to pull fly balls to the right often in an attempt to bring about more power. This can lead to a longer swing, and he does have some chase and whiff issues in the zone. Regardless, the potential is undoubtedly there. He's a decent defender in center, using his 60 grade speed to his advantage, but if need be, his 60 grade arm can definitely get the job done in right field as well. Versatile outfielder and power threat, that's a very nice guy to get at pick 34. Pick 35 is the first pick of the draft for the New York Yankees, who get a 10-pick penalty for exceeding the second surcharge threshold of the competitive balance tax. The past 2 years the Yankees have gone for college pitching, but with so much pitching depth in their system, I don't see the need, which leads me to see their tendency to get high upside bats. And what's more upside than picking the guy with the most power still left on the board? Gavin Grahovic is a college first baseman with 60 grade power and okay athletic abilities. He's not the most exciting 5-tool player, but the guy hits tanks and has the highest ceiling of any hitter left on the board. The Yankees didn't seem to mind taking Spencer Jones in the first round of the 2022 draft, so why not a guy who had 22 bombs and a 1.150 OPS in 57 NCAA games? This is the first pick of the draft for the Philadelphia Phillies as well because of the competitive balance tax, and they have a distinct lack of younger talent in their system. So why not take a high upside high school bat in Cole Prosek? Prosek ranked second nationally with 18 long balls in 41 high school games in 2026, while making quality contact in general. Not the greatest athlete, he plays third and catches with a strong arm. Scouts believe catching might be a good avenue for Prosek to explore in his professional career, which would be very nice for Philly to have if it works out. A 60 grade hit with 50 grade power isn't bad at all, especially when he had the second most home runs in the country this year. A nice first pick up for the Phils. The Rockies have back-to-back picks at 37 and 38, so why not bunch the two together? I think they'll probably go for a pitcher and a bat here. The Rockies will select Taylor Rabe and Logan Hughes with the 37th and 38th picks in the drafts. Rabe is a right-handed pitcher from Mississippi and has one of the best fastballs in the class with a 65 grade. It operates at 96 and touches triple digits with good control as well. His upper 80s cutter and mid 80s slider are also very nice pitches with an upper 80s changeup that he hasn't really found a feel for just yet. It's no secret that you need a good fastball in Coors Field, and that's exactly what Taylor Rabe has. The second guy, Logan Hughes, is a left-handed outfielder for Texas Tech, with his bat carrying his potential value. Hughes is not a very good runner or defender in the corner outfield, which he makes up for in some capacity with his swing decisions and ability to make contact with all kinds of pitches. What really stands out is his 375, 510, 735 slash line with a 1.245 OPS and 18 home runs in his junior year. He also had 17 more walks than strikeouts and 70 RBIs in just 55 games. The Rockies are getting a potential starter who can find his way in Coors and a guy who absolutely mashes when they select Taylor Rabe and Logan Hughes. The Blue Jays have their first pick of the draft after exceeding the second competitive balance tax threshold, and they like to select a good amount of pitching in the early rounds. This is a perfect spot for Cade Townsend to go. Townsend is a right-handed pitcher coming out of Mississippi who spins the baseball really well. His fastball operates in the mid-90s with good spin, but it does get hit around due to its lack of carry. His breaking stuff is where his arsenal shines. His low 80s curve and upper 80s slider both grade out as plus offerings, while his cutter also grades out well, sitting at 90 miles per hour. His changeup isn't a terrible pitch either. He had a 3.94 ERA in 64 innings pitched with 88 strikeouts, so there is definitely some growing to do, but he has a very nice framework for the Jays to help build on. The 40th and final team to have their first pick of the draft, the Los Angeles Dodgers, have this pick due to CBA penalties. And if anyone knows what the Dodgers draft strategies are, then could they relay that information to the Blue Jays? Because they seem to get everything out of every player they touch. So, they could probably use that. That would help. Anyways, they'll probably draft a guy with some really high potential if everything goes right. And that, in my opinion, is Coleman Berthwick. His 60 grade fastball and 60 grade slider are the two pitches he really throws at this point in time. But that's okay because the 18-year-old right-hander has plenty of time to improve upon those pitches and create new shapes that he feels comfortable with under the Dodgers' guidance. He can throw his fastball in the high 90s with life and control, and his mid-80s slider misses a ton of bats. He does have a changeup, but it really isn't anything as of now. I think both the Dodgers and Borthwick would benefit greatly from this selection. Well, there you have it. The first 40 picks of the MLB draft all mocked up. I gotta hand it to the MLB writers who deal with a bunch of scrutiny after posting their mock drafts, because this shit isn't easy, and I don't even feel 100% by my picks. But nonetheless, this was very fun, and I would love to hear what you think in the comment section. Why would your team love the player I picked for them? Why would they absolutely never pick them in a million years? Whatever you think, let me know. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching this video. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.